Good morning everyone. This morning I'm going to do a video showing off my garden. We just moved to this new house in November and I've got a smaller garden here than I did at my old house, and it's actually more manageable. So I'll just start. This is my recycled, upcycled bathtub herb garden. This brings me so much joy because we've been carting this bathtub around for years, and at different points in time it's just sort of sat there, or my husband's tried to use it as a fish pond before, but that didn't really go so well. So now we've finally done what I've wanted to do for ages and turned it into a herb garden, so I love it. And I've still got more herbs that I want to plant in here, but at the moment I've got this hot oregano. This one I bought from Bunnings, and it's just an oregano that's a little bit stronger and hotter and spicier, and I just love it. Then I've got this chocolate mint, and again it's just a slightly stronger mint with a bit of a chocolatey flavour. In the middle here I've got some purslane, which I probably will rip out and replant at some point. Purslane's really nutritious though. It's got a lot of vitamins and minerals in it, and it's quite soothing for the gut because it's kind of a succulent. It's a bit similar to aloe vera. It's just really soothing for the digestive tract. So that's there for the time being, although I've got that growing wild as a weed in the garden, so that I don't really need to cultivate it, so it probably will get pulled out. Then I've just got my chives, I've got parsley, and I've got some common garden sage, which is beautiful. It's been growing really well ever since I put it in this bathtub. And I'll just come up around here. We've got this nice stone wall here, which is really nice. And this is my mugwort. This is the only mugwort I have growing at the moment. I had a huge plant of it at the old house, but this is the only one that I've kept alive, and I've actually got a lot of it dried, so that's really all that I need. I've got some aloe vera here. I've got some yucca plants. Oh, I just need to weed again. Anyway, so we've got some yucca plants. This one we actually cut a piece off, which we have put in the other garden over the other side, which I'll show you in a second. And I've got some jade trees. I've got this little beautiful plant which is sort of struggling at the moment, but I'll give it some TLC and it'll come back. My husband's grandfather gave it to us. I've got these old red brick scraps which I'll probably turn into red brick powder at some stage. And then there's another money tree. This one's a pawpaw, which is going to have to go in the garden. And then I've got this lovely thing, don't really know what it's called. This had worms in it, so it's really rich in worm castings, this soil. And I tried to grow some seeds in this one. I tried to grow some borage and, that might be one coming up there. And some other stuff like some lavender and, I can't remember what else. I think lemon balm. But anyway, they didn't really grow very well. They were kind of heritage seeds, and I've just decided that they're not a real good go, like they don't grow very well. And then I've got some beautiful seashells here. This is an incense stick holder, but it's ceramic and it broke, so we glued it back together, but it's an outdoor thing now because, it's broken. And this beautiful vase, and then I've got some stones here with Chinese symbols on them and nice sayings, and then some nice words here. This stone barbecue is like such a mess right now. We need to clean it up. But this is a dragon fruit. So, I'm hoping that this fruits eventually. I just love it. I might have to put it in a bigger pot at some stage, which will be nice because I'll get to use this beautiful pot for something else. And then I've got my passion fruit vine, which is still alive barely. So I'll have to replant that into the ground and get that growing a bit better. And over here, out the back behind my son's swing set, we've got black-eyed Susans growing, and I love them because when I was a little girl at the house where I lived, my mum had black-eyed Susans growing. So I just love that my kids are going to have the same in that sense as what I had growing up. And also my mum had plants that attracted butterflies, so we got to see the butterflies turn themselves into cocoons and like hatch as caterpillars and grow and then turn into cocoons and then emerge as butterflies. So I would just love to do that for my kids. It's one of my favorite memories about my childhood. And this is my compost bin. So this one I got from Bunnings, and we just fill it with grass scraps, and I put my food scraps in there. Sucky you can't smell it. There's my old flowers from when I got flowers for the baby. And so we just put food scraps and grass clippings in that and turn it into compost. I always compost now because I feel too bad when I don't. I just think about all the methane and it just makes me feel bad. so I always compost. And over in this little side garden, this is just beautiful. It needs to be weeded again, but we're still conceptualizing what we're going to plant in here. But here's that piece of the yucca that we sawed off, so hopefully that'll take off and grow really well. And then we've got this nice greenery which grows up the wall, which I think they've pulled it down at some stage, but I don't know if we're going to let it do that anymore. And that's my frangipani. I cultivated that from one that we had growing at the old house, which I originally planted from one that I took from my sister-in-law's mum's house when we went there for Christmas one year.